Well, Australia's Productivity Commission is cautioning against over-regulating artificial intelligence, warning that too tight rules could choke off a massive new economic opportunity. In their latest interim report, the Commission estimates AI could add $116 billion to Australia's economy over the next decade and even lift average wages by around $4,300 per worker. For more on this story, I'm joined by Dr. Stephen King, who co-authored the report. Dr. King, welcome to McKnight Tonight.
Good to be here, Rob.
Now, Dr. King, AI is the future. There's no doubt about that. But what do you mean when you caution against over-regulating artificial intelligence?
Yep. There's a push, and it has occurred in particularly in the European Union, to have an AI Act, some sort of technology-specific overarching rules for artificial intelligence. We just think that's the wrong starting point. AI comes with risks. There will be bad actors using AI to do undesirable things, whether it's fraud, whether it's deceiving consumers, whether it's breaching our competition laws. However, while AI makes it easier, cheaper, faster for bad actors to do bad stuff, most of the things they will be doing are already illegal. So what we're suggesting is, let's look at our existing laws. Let's carry out the gap analysis that we need to find out if there are gaps in our existing laws exposed by AI. Make sure our regulators both have the resources and they have the skills to be able to enforce the rules that they've already got in an AI context. And then if there are gaps in the current rules, can we fix them within the current rules? Let's not start from scratch. Only if we can't fix them in the current rules should we think about new legislation. And where possible, that should be technology neutral, because in 10 years' time, what we call AI today will not be what we call AI in 10 years' time. And what we called AI 10 years ago, imagine we did an AI Act 10 years ago, it would look silly now. So
sure.
Try not to do tech-specific
You've got
regulation.
support. This morning, the Treasurer was singing the praises of AI and specifically what you're putting forward.
Artificial intelligence is a game changer for our economy. It has the potential to support all of our major economic goals, making our economy more productive, stronger, lifting living standards over time. And every single part of our lives will be impacted over time by artificial intelligence.
So, Dr. King, so far, so good. I don't think you and I disagree on anything that you've said. But you've had a lot of detractors today because people are more worried about not specifically the bad actors that you talk about, but the use of AI, especially when it comes to jobs and copyright. Let me bring this one to you. The ACTU today has put out a press release saying your report proposes to sell out Australian workers and their industries. Can I get your reaction to that criticism, please?
Well, I think that's just completely wrong. We are very upfront in our report that while AI, like other historic technologies that we've seen, is most likely to create more jobs than it eliminates, we've been very upfront that not everyone is a winner here. There will be some jobs, there will be some workers who are made worse off by the AI revolution. And we've got to make sure that as a society, we protect those workers, that we have the appropriate safety nets for those workers, that we offer them the retraining that they might need. That's part of being an Australian, I think, that we don't just let people fall through the cracks, that we have the safety nets to protect them. And we need that during this ongoing change associated with AI.
I think that's a fair point. One of my bugbears is when we come to copyright. Should companies have access to material owned and created by artists?
Yeah, so I mentioned the gap analysis earlier on. We have copyright as an example of that gap analysis. We currently do not make any recommendations around copyright law. Let me be very clear that we are not making recommendations for change. We are asking, are our current copyright laws fit for purpose? Do they need changing? How do we make sure that Australia's creative artists get fair reward for their content? how do we make sure that the tech companies aren't just getting a free ride here?
Well, this is the thing to me, because I'm seeing it overseas where big tech is saying to governments, especially in the US, that they need unfettered access to everything that's ever been produced and made so that they can build their AI. Otherwise, they fall behind China. But I sit here going, well, hang on, you're a company trying to build a business off the work of other people. How is that fair in a society where creativity is what we own? It's our commodity.
Yeah, and we've already seen overseas some solutions to this problem. We've seen cases where media companies, for example, have sold the rights to AI companies to use the copyright material. We've seen situations where technology companies have been talking to academic journal publishers so that when you're using an AI engine, you're not using Dr. Google, you're using top edge medical research to get your information. They're currently possible under existing copyright laws. But we need to make sure that the balance is there. And currently there
But what is the balance?
So currently creative parties in Australia aren't being rewarded when their material is being used to train overseas AI companies. Now, we can't fix that under our copyright law, but we need to make sure that our copyright law gives fair compensation to the creatives while also allowing the tech companies to be able to license or use the creatives' products with fair compensation to be able to get the applications of AI that we need in Australia.
I guess the hard thing is always knowing if these AI companies, whether they're scraping the net and taking that material and not owning up to that.
Yeah, and at the moment, it's clearly an undesirable situation for everyone. The tech companies aren't winning, the creatives aren't winning. We have other solutions that we've used in the past. So as you'd be aware, you go into a retail shop and you hear music being played. They're just not pirating from the songwriters, from the artists, from the creative people. They're actually paying for that, and it's collected through a collecting society that is authorised by our Competition Commission. So maybe that's the sort of approach that we should be taking here. So we've been very clear. We're going out and asking for people to give us feedback. At one end, do we need any change? Maybe the current law's fine. Or do we need something like collecting societies? Or should we go down the path that some other countries have taken, like Japan, New Zealand, Japan, Singapore, the UK, and have a text and data mining exemption to our copyright laws so that it makes it easier for the tech companies to gather that information, that copyright information. We haven't.
So hang on, are you saying that these companies should have the right to scrape our text messages?
No. We're asking, does the copyright law, is it fit for purpose? And we want to get feedback on whether it's fit for purpose and how it should be changed to make sure, if it's not fit for purpose, how it should be changed to make sure it's fit for purpose. We have made no recommendation at the moment. What we want to do is make a recommendation in our final report, but we need to hear from the people in the industry, from your viewers, what's the best way forward.
It's interesting because there's been a range of press releases coming across my email today. You're in New Zealand tonight as we talk. And so I don't know if you've seen this one from the Voice Actors Association, but they reject text and data mining exemptions for AI training. And the president, Simon Kennedy, says, I'll just read it out to you. Not only does this move put the responsibility on Australian creatives to shoulder legal battles against multi-billion-dollar tech companies who have stolen or misused their work, it also leaves the door open for AI developers to use the biometric data of every Australian whose voice or image has been recorded to train AI applications that can digitally reproduce their likeness, create deepfakes and voice clones.
Yep, and that's fantastic. Please send in that submission to us so that we can take it on board and make sure we're making the right recommendation to government at the end of this year. At the moment,
this is the point. This is an interim report, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And it seems to me what I seem to be coming to Oh, sorry, we're on a delay. Apologies. What it seems to be coming to is that what I'm hearing is that you don't basically want to, you've said it, you don't want to start from scratch. So you want to use existing laws to protect people in the ways that need protecting. What do you see as far as new AI legislation going forward? Do you think there's need for any?
Well, we haven't done the work as a country yet to work out if we need any AI legislation, any AI specific legislation going forward. The first thing that needs to be done is that gap analysis. Now, copyright we've picked as a case study because we know it's controversial, but we also know it's really, really important. And we don't know that there are gaps there at the moment, that there should be changes to current law. But that's a long, long way from saying we need, say, an AI specific copyright law. So what we need to do is the gap analysis around our copyright laws, around our laws around medical devices, around our competition laws, around our consumer laws. Think of the laws across society, the regulations that business deals with every day. We need to do the gap analysis and find out, are they fit for purpose for the AI world? And go down that path. If they're not fit, can we make them fit? If we can't make them fit, can we have tech neutral alternatives? And only as a last step would we be saying, have a technology specific AI type alternative or AI Act.
As you're going through this process, are you worried that Australia might fall behind if we go too hard with AI legislation?
It's clear from the European experience that if you go very hard in saying, right, we're going to have an AI Act that covers or tries to cover all uses of AI, what you end up doing is you create a huge amount of uncertainty and you end up with a lot of legal cases because disputes will end up in court about exactly what is covered by the law, exactly what the law means. And whilst all that's going on, you create uncertainty, which puts off investment. So we should learn from our friends in the European Union. They went down this path. The thing we should learn is that's probably not the path that we want to go down. We want to get this gap analysis done in a thorough, but preferably a fairly fast turnaround so that we can get the certainty to get the investment.
Well, it sounds like you are going for a balanced approach. I do look forward to seeing the final report and your recommendations. Dr. Stephen King, thanks for joining us on McKnight Tonight.
Thanks, Rob.
Fun, insightful interviews from a washed-up producer with nothing to lose. Night tonight, McKnight tonight, McKnight tonight. It's good night from